лицу.
What's going on? It's the Big Rig Bull Texas Truck Accident Lawyer Reshard Alexander here again today on a Friday afternoon. Today we're going to cover alcohol and controlled substance testing part 3. This vlog is going to be shot without proper lighting and all of that because I'm moving between two offices right now. I'm just taking a break. I've already moved one bookcase down, but I have a few more things to move. Like I said, this is not really a big office. I'll have to take a couple of trips up and down the elevator, but I'm streamlining everything now. You know, that's the big key for me. I'm only taking on certain types of cases, and I'm only doing certain types of things. So this is the time to really zero in. What's going on? It's the Big Rig Bull Texas Truck Accident Lawyer Reshard Alexander here again today on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Today's topic is going to be about alcohol and controlled substance testing. You know, that'll be it for right now. I just got to get some other things set up, but I'm trying to go ahead and push forward as fast as possible so that this transition period can be seamless. You got to keep something in your system. Because like I said before, I'm not changing. This part of my office is my office, so I'm not going to really switch it up. I'm not going to invest a lot of money in it. I like the mountains. I like the way it looks. I like everything about that picture. So that will go up on the wall. This right here, I had from the other office as well. I bought these a while ago. I want all my clients to kind of feel like family because in a way they kind of are. You know what I mean? They take a chance on you to do something for them, and you know all you really want to do is try to make sure you do the best job. One thing that I think is going to be to my benefit is that where I'm moving to, that first floor, there's like two or three other law offices like right beside mine. I think I'm going to take a break and try to get my first little mock draft going. I haven't done any fantasy football stuff yet, and I have been like waiting patiently. The Rockets, I don't really know what to make of them. I mean, they don't seem to really truly understand how to build like long-lasting dynasties. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're aiming for. That's what you're shooting for. What I've learned is that you're going to be as good as the attorneys that you get to hang around. So if you're a young attorney out here, what you got to do is, well, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, you got to get yourself in the room with some top-notch attorneys. Some people are, you know, they're just class A professionals, and you can just, I don't know, you know, you meet them and you talk to them, and you can just feel like, okay, I can learn something from this guy. I can learn something from this lady. And that's my thing now. I'm just all about trying to be around people who are going to lift me up. You know what I mean? Because if they lift me up, then that means I can lift other people up. And that's the goal. That's the goal. It's always been the goal. There was a podcast on Instagram being advertised for brain injury attorneys. Like, the only thing that they're going to talk about on their podcast is brain injuries. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, wow, there's that much information out there just about brain injuries that is going to allow them to make a podcast. All right, here we are today, Friday, and it looks like we're going to wrap up alcohol and controlled substances testing part 3 today. We're going to focus on rehabilitation, returning to work, and retention and disclosure of records. As I said before in the past 2 vlogs, that 49 CFR 382 is the controlling statute for alcohol and controlled substances testing for commercial motor vehicle drivers. One main thing that I don't know if I talked about enough, but when it comes to reasonable suspicion regarding whether a truck driver should have a alcohol and controlled substances test, or whether the safety director or a company supervisor should direct them to have one, it's going to be based off of the body. It's going to be based off of your body odor. It's going to be based off of your speech and basically your appearance. So those are the factors that will equate to your reasonable suspicion test when it comes to those alcohol and controlled substances testing. Moving along, we're going to move to rehabilitation. So rehabilitation is a situation where the truck driver has violated the FMCSR in some way, or the local state CDL manuals, statutes, and they have to be rehabilitated. They want to go back to work. The company wants to keep them, but there are a few hurdles that you need to get past in order to be able to perform a safety-sensitive function. All right, so the motor carrier must tell the truck driver what their options are regarding rehab solutions for alcohol and controlled substance issues. So at the time that you have your alcohol test that is above 0.04, or you have the MRO coming back showing that you have a positive controlled substances test, the motor carrier is supposed to inform you about the things that you can do to educate yourself and rehabilitate yourself if you have a substance abuse issue. An evaluation will take place with a substance abuse professional. Right after that, the motor carrier must ensure that the truck driver has announced a follow-up testing as directed by a substance abuse professional. So if they decide to keep the truck driver, they have to go ahead and have them meet with a substance abuse professional. That professional usually will draw up some type of drug treatment plan, and you will have to abide by that if you are a truck driver. Okay, that seems relatively simple enough, right? Okay, so what about when you get ready to return to work, okay, or returning to a safety-sensitive function? Because we have to remember that safety-sensitive functions are pretty much, as I said before, anything that you do not do. Let me rephrase that. Anything that you do outside of sleeping in that sleeper berth. Okay? So all those other things that I said, if you have a question about those, you can flip back to the other vlogs because they should be mentioned in the vlog for the past day. If you have violated in some way and you're ready to return to work, in order to be able to return to work and to perform safety-sensitive functions, you will need to take an alcohol test where you do not blow greater than 0.02 BAC. Okay? If you are coming back and they're going to give you a controlled substances controlled substances test, then you cannot have a positive test result, and it has to be a verified negative result. Okay, that seems simple enough. If there's a violation during the pre-employment screening, that motor carrier does not have to rehabilitate you, provide or refer you to any type of rehab services. You're completely on your own because you're not employed by the motor carrier. Okay? The last thing is retention and disclosure of records. So these are the timelines that a motor carrier must preserve and keep these records on hand for inspection. So a motor carrier must retain records for 5 years for any alcohol test that is greater than or equal to 0.02 BAC. Number 2, any verified positive controlled substances results have to be kept for 5 years. Number 3, documentation of any alcohol and controlled substances refusals. If there's a refusal by the truck driver, that has to be kept on file. And 4th, evaluations and referrals to a rehabilitation specialist. If a truck driver is referred to a rehabilitation specialist, that record must be kept on file for 5 years. Okay, for the 1 year, they have to keep, the motor carrier has to keep these on for 1 year. They are negative test, alcohol and controlled substances, canceled test, and alcohol results that are less than 0.02. Okay. Now, if you're employed, okay, at the time when you have to take all this, you have to take all these drug tests and everything, the motor carrier has to keep on file the training of the drivers and supervisors' records must be maintained during employment and 2 years afterwards. Okay? Training of drivers and supervisors' records must be maintained during employment and for 2 years afterwards. Okay? Now, the final thing, I want to go down this list real quick. A motor carrier maintains additional records in these 7 categories. Okay? I don't have the years up here for you. You have to figure that out yourself if you're not familiar with it, or you can just call me up. But a motor carrier maintains additional records for anything that's related to a random drug testing, anything in connection with administering a reasonable suspicion of an alcohol controlled substances test. Number 3, any post-accident test. Number 4 is refusal to submit to testing by the truck driver. Number 5 is verification of the driver's testing from prior employers. Number 6 is driver's evaluation and consultation with a substance abuse professional. And number 7 is the motor carrier's testing procedures and provided educational policies and procedures to a truck driver. I hope this was very clear. It's Friday. Hope you have a safe and wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow with another topic. So I'll see you later. Take it easy.